All right, so we left off, and you're going to tell some stories about your time with Giant Gonzalez. That's one thing, as a fan, as a mark, that I didn't realize your involvement so much with Jorge Gonzalez, the Giant Gonzalez, Elegante. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, in Japan and everything.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andrew. What happened was, he tried out for the NBA, and he couldn't pass the physical. They tried for a year, spent hundreds of thousands on nutritionists trying to get this guy in shape, but his knees were bad. So they said, look, we own WCW, we're going to make you into a wrestler. So the wrestler, what's that? So they had to train him. He was never a good entertainment in the ring, but he was something to look at.
Yeah.
Wow, people.
Oh, yeah.
So
I always wanted to see him wrestle.
He had to have a handler, like an assistant on the road. Who was going to be his assistant? Dusty was the boss. I was used to taking to Harley Race, Abdullah, Andre, all around. So they said, we're going to give you $25,000 extra on top of your $100,000 that you're making. I'm not throwing out figures because I'm trying to brag or not. These guys were making, staying on those guys were making $750 a year. I'm making barely $100. Even extra $25,000. Thank you. So they said, we'll give you an extra $25,000 a year and a Cadillac paid for, 8 coupons, 365 days to take care of him. He's an assistant whenever he needs a hamburger, needs to go get shoes, needs to go to the doctor, needs to get from point A to point B, needs to go to Madison Square, needs to go here or there.
They knew you'd take care of him.
You guys are together. If this ain't Vince McMahon, I'm not going to answer it. Unless it's my daughter. Nope, sorry. Sorry, whoever it is.
Already said not Vince McMahon.
Or my daughter, because it's my grandson over there. So they gave me an extra $25,000 a year to referee and be his personal assistant on the road, which worked out fabulously. Hey, Marty, come on, Marty. So like Marty's assistant. So they put me on the road with him because they had to have a driver, an interpreter, and so on. And that got my foot in the door more than I would have as being a referee.
Yeah. No,
all of a sudden I'm sitting in Ted Turner's box where President Carter would sit and watch the baseball game at the Atlanta Braves. You know, the Braves, the Hawks, wrestling, CNN, Univision, whatever the hell he owned. He owned everything. And what's her name too, his good-looking wife. So I went around the world with Giant Gonzalez, and he was fabulous and got paid for it. Wow, they didn't have to pay me extra for that because, excuse me, we became good friends, and he asked me to do some stuff. But anytime they needed him to do something, they would have to send me to, you know, the convention they'd have to promote and get the networks to pick up the shows. What do you call that convention in Vegas?
I'm not sure. Well, cable TV type one,
yeah. So there's a booth there. Yeah, there's a booth there with the main element. There's a WCW booth. There's game show host booths. There's all you know, all the celebrities there trying to push this, get people to buy their shit. So we had a WCW booth
there,
and Elegante, who better to look at than
that'll draw attention. Shoot,
right? So wow, WCW,
everyone wants a picture with him.
Right. So we did good. So I did that with him. I did like Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan. Was there, met Chris Lemon, Jack Lemon's son, all those Hollywood people, Carol Alt.
You should tell the story of getting paid from Hogan for Thunder in Paradise.
Oh yeah. So Hogan calls it now. Vince, Hulk Hogan's not working for Vince full time. He's into movies. He's into other things. Going to Japan, making big money. And not that he doesn't need Vince, because Vince, they made each other kind of. They helped each other a lot. And they like each other, I'm sure. So Hogan says, calls Vince up, hey Vince, I want Giant Gonzalez to be in my pilot episode for Thunder in Paradise. And he said, well, we can send him down, but you got to pay for him. And you got to have Fonzie too, but I'm not paying Fonzie, Vince says. Not that he didn't want to pay me, it's the principle. If you're going to have the Giant, you got to pay Fonzie too.
Take them both,
Hogan says, not a problem. So we go down there, I'm there 21 days, and we do the set. I'm not actually in the movie, but I am in the movie. If you look for me, if they're doing a beach scene and there's people playing volleyball on the beach, I'll be one of the top, 20 people there with glasses on. You wouldn't recognize me if you see me, but I was in the... So at the end of the wrap-up, Hogan says, I'll bring a check for you. Unless it's my daughter or Vince, I'm not going to answer it. Sorry. So, Hogan says, of course I'll pay for him. So the 21-day, we did 21-day shoot. We wrap it up. Hogan says, I'll bring a check tomorrow. We get there. Hogan's going to Japan the next day. And he said, oh, Fonzie, I forgot the check, but don't worry. Because his son got in a jet ski accident, that was happened. So he had an emergency jet ski accident, 911. He had to get his son, the one that had the car accident.
Nick, yeah.
Yeah, Nick, he's doing real well now. Now Hogan's doing great too, God bless him.
Yeah.
I love it. We're born both August 11th. I was just with them at TNA, the highest rated pay-per-view, the history of TNA. Justice. Yes.
Sounds fantastic.
And Hogan was in there. And he, hey, Fonzie, let's have a beer for birthdays tomorrow. So it was pretty cool. So Hogan says, Fonzie, I gotta go, but come to the airport tomorrow. You're flying out too, back to Vince tomorrow. I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm on gate A15 going to Japan. Meet me at the gate and I'll bring you a check. I said, okay, Hogan, thank you so much. Boom, hope your son's okay. He was gone. Like, he was telling me this, he was running to his car. Because his son may be hurt bad. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt bad. Fortunately. So the next day I said, well, Hogan's had a lot on his mind and the check, his son, he probably won't even remember that to bring the check, you know. And I'm not that interested in it, but money's money.
Money's money,
So I go to gate 1A and there's Hogan. Hey, Fonzie, his son's okay, so he's happy. He said, man, I'm sorry about yesterday. He said, man, and about your check, then he kind of looks down like this. About your check. I brought it. So he gives me a check. It's blank with a Terry Boulder signature, Hulk Hogan signature on it. Blank check from Sun Trust or whatever bank it was. He said a blank check. He said, yeah, you fill out for whatever you wanted. Because Vince didn't want to pay you because it was a principal. But I'm going to pay it, so don't worry. You weren't in the budget originally for the movie, for the pilot, because we didn't know the Giant had to have a handle and all that, but we love you and you were great help during the movie. I did a lot of help for the movie. So he gives me a blank check. He says, you fill out for whatever you want. I said, he said, yeah, I don't care if it's $10 million or $200. You fill it out. So what do? I'm scared. You know, I got a blank check from Hulk Hogan. I worked 21 days. You work your ass off in the movies because call time is 5 a.m. in the morning and shut down when the sun goes down. So, and then you have any time daylight hours, right? Whatever. So I got this blank check and Jimmy Hart was in the whole system too. I go to Jimmy's room. I say, Jimmy, hey, Marty, Cinetti. That was Marty Cinetti. So I get a blank check. I go to Jimmy Hart's room and say, Jimmy, Hogan gave me a blank check. When I go up to WWF, we're immediately back on the road. So Jimmy's on tour with us. I said, Jimmy, give me a blank check. I don't know what to write in it. I says, I'm going to be fair, more than fair. I'll write it for $2. He said, no, be sensible. Write it for, you know, I said, how about if we write it for the minimum Vince would pay me? Which, if I was in Gordon's, I'd make $1,000. If I was in Charlotte at the small building, I'd make $300. So he said, that sounds good.
Something like that,
not bad. So I wrote it for the $300 per day per thing, no per diem, no nothing.
Wow. That's fair. Hogan can't complain about that.
No, and I wrote the check and I never heard anything from Hogan. He never said, damn, you wrote a big check. It's only a couple bucks. Well, thanks, Hulk Hogan. So I got in my foot in a lot of doors with the Giant. We did at Universal, we were in the Swamp Thing. Remember the movie, The Swamp Thing? But they also had a series, The Swamp Thing. So Universal Studios called WCW, said, send me 2 tall wrestlers. And they said Giant Gonzalez and Kevin Nash.
Oh, wow,
And Fonzie, because I was Giant's
your
assistant.
Man.
So we went down and we did an episode in Swamp Thing, which was great. You know what I mean? They had all eyes on my Indian. And they flew us out to California to do an episode, a pilot with Jesse the Body Ventura doing some type of game show with them. Got picked up.
Oh, wow.
And I stayed at Beverly Hotel. You know, the famous hotel.
Hilton or something like that?
The most famous hotel in Hollywood. On Hollywood Boulevard, right there.
That's really cool.
I stayed there. They put us there for 2 days. We did the shoot and so on. And Ted Turner's box.
That's
They
really
didn't say,
cool.
hey, there's Bill Alfonso watching the Braves. They said, even the Giant Gonzalez comes out to watch any other Braves play. You know, they panned over to him.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was sitting right next to him going, hey, Daddy.
That's my Giant.
You know, right. So I got a lot of perks for being his assistant. And it kept my job. So here's what happened for us to leave WCW and go to Vince McMahon. Do we got 2 minutes?
Let's do it in the next chapter.
Okay.
Okay.
So WCW was great. Give me the minute wind-up when you want to. WCW was great. I did all the pay-per-views. We did a pay-per-view where Abdullah the Butcher on Halloween night got electrocuted in an electrocution
I remember
chair,
that,
like
yeah.
Ted Bundy,
Kevin Sullivan
like Ted
and
Bundy.
King Curtis and all that.
It was great.
Yeah.
What a nice time I had working for Ted Turner. Made money. Thank you, Ted Turner. It was fantastic. Sting was over. All the top guys were there. It was such a good time.
Okay. Let's carry on here in a moment.